I'm sorry, my microphone was off on there, but good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to The Joy of Painting, episode 4, with me, Jack Ross. Hope you all are doing swimmingly well. I am so sorry that last week's video had not been uploaded. It's been a very, very heavy week, a very long week, and real life obviously gets in the way, as it always does. And I can only apologise about that. But we are here and we are going to try and do a 2-hour session of painting. This is definitely going to be a long-ass session. So sit back, relax and enjoy my soothing voice as you watch me paint this beautiful miniature. Good old Ludo. So now as you can see, I have finally found a way to get this camera in focus so you will be able to see it much better and clearly what I paint now. Sorry, I'm still very tired after a very long session last night, so my apologies. So you can see a lot better now, or at least the details. So the last time we looked at Ludo, we had just done the first highlight of Talar and Sand, I believe. I think it was. No, yes, no, wait, no. Something like that. Excuse me. It was something along the lines of that. I will just double check my painting schedule in a minute before we start painting, just to make sure we get it right. But as you can see, his face is just been highlighted the first time, and we are now going to go over the second highlight. And as I discussed last time, it's going to be we're going to do a 5-stage highlight. So we've got base coat, we've washed it. We've then now got the base coat and the highlight mixed together, which I did last time. And then we're now going to do the third highlight. I think, yeah, the third highlight on this face. So that might take a bit of time. The hair, as you can see, is nice and bold and orange now, just like our little below picture there of Ludo, which is quite handy. And I'm going to attempt to try and do his horns, or at least do a bit more to them, because as you can see in the picture below, they're a bit of a more greyish tone than brown, but I still think that the brown tones to begin with was the best way to start. So as always, let's start with looking at the equipment of what we're going to use today in The Joy of Painting. So we've got our old trusty the wet palette from Red Grass Games. This is the XL one, the first, I may ask, and they have just finished their Kickstarter, which they were successfully funded. And I have to say, I'm looking forward to having my new mini one, because as you can see, this is quite a large wet palette which goes across my border or my desk. So trying to paint Ludo on this is quite difficult, because I've obviously got a very limited space to keep the camera in focus so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to move this to the side. When I'm going to mix the paints, I'm going to show you how they look like first, and then we'll go into the painting, so don't worry about that. The next thing we're going to be using are the paints. So we've got today Teleron Flesh and Carrick Stone, depending on how far we get. So if I feel like we want to do the entire skin today, we will do, and at this rate I may just do both the highlights today, so we shall see how it goes. But there's Citadel, Teleron Sand and Carrick Stone. What else we got? We've got our trusty water, which actually, this is something I was going to say to you guys. This is something I've really helped. One of my friends, James Tarot, he loves eating Nutella, absolutely loves it, and he said that it's perfect for water pots. So if you literally get someone in your family or yourself, no matter what you if you like eating Nutella, just eat the whole thing in one go. Eat it completely, and then use it as a water pot, and you can literally go upside down like that. Literally, it's not gonna leak or anything. It's quite tight sealed, so it's quite good to carry around if you want to do some like travel painting. Hello, Mr. Tom. How are you doing? I hope you're doing very well. Nice. Thank you for joining us today. So literally, the water is quite efficient when you want to be like, if you, not for me being quite cynical, but like I like to have pots of white paint for my normal paint, and then my metallics, because obviously you don't want to get any of those paints or the water mixed up, because if you do, you'll get like a skin tone with metallic touch, and it just doesn't look the same. Trust me on that one. Having an ogre skin with metallic, it doesn't look right. And then the paints and the paintbrushes themselves. So we're going to use today good old trusty Broken Toe 2 Miniature Series Mark III Kalinsky Sable, which you can see right here. Look at that beautiful brush. Again, like this is the first time I've used these brushes. And hello, Kel, how are you doing? I hope you're doing very well. Thank you. Oh, thank you very much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. And thank you very much, Kel, for dropping by. It's lovely to see people on the Twitch, and I'm trying to move it onto Twitch now just because it's a focal point so I can actually chat to you rather than trying to multitask and do Facebook and Twitch, because my goodness, it can take some time off from doing all this. So yeah, there's the paintbrush. I think that's about it that I'm going to use today, but if anything else, I will go over it. So before we start, I've got to check to make sure this is the right paint that I'm using, because I don't want to get the skin tone wrong. So the base coat was Steel Legion Drab. We used Agrek Surfshade, and the first one is Talaran Sand. So it is this one. So that's how we're going to start. Oh, thank you very much. Yes, I am Jack Ross. You know, we don't have any mistakes. We have happy accidents. It's going to be a very pleasant afternoon, I have to say. That's fine. Thank you very much. I do appreciate you stopping by. Any of the support is always going to help, I have to say. So, let's start this off. So, get the paintbrush. Get a bit of a lick. Sorry, it's been a very hectic couple of weeks. With last week, I could not do my stream because I was at a tank museum, which was great, I have to say. But it's always good. Yes, Tom. I am Jack Ross. I am your friendly neighbourhood painting calm man, if that's the best way to put it. But you know, it's a bit of a laugh, because I thought I saw this. I had like an idea of just trying to make painting enjoyable and fun, and I thought, you know what, Mr. Ross brought so much love and joy to the art of painting, and that the fact is, people can enjoy this hobby, and I want to try and help as many people enjoy this hobby with the most easiest way possible. So people that have not seen the stream before or are new to this stream, it's just basically episodes where I just talk you through what I think is really cool about the hobby, what I'm currently painting, and what of my future projects, and also answering any questions that you may have about my answering any questions about what I do for my hobby, because I'm currently doing, obviously, Ludo, as you guys are well aware. Yes, the intro, I have to say, was I love that so much. When I had the idea and when I finally got used to using OBS, it was fantastic. So as you can see, the paint. Oh, if I can just move that up there for a second, we'll put that there. So you can see here, that's where our little paint area is today. I'm going to move out of the way today, just so I can get some natural sun lamp thing, because I spent money on this damn equipment. I'm going to use it as best I can, and please don't ask me how much that lamp was. This entire desk during lockdown was perfect, a great start to my hobby enjoyment, but I never used it. So let's start this off very slowly. So we're going to start on his little neck and just do little strokes. So as you are aware, this now is going to be highlighting it up. So now you should find that this should be a lot easier, because you're literally filling in the gaps. So you're going to leave the darkest shades in there, and only going to hit the lightest areas. So hopefully this should be a lot easier. And then once this is done, it's going to make it look a lot smoother. Because I was taught, as many of you will know, by a guy called Ben Williams, but now McIntyre, who's now Brush Demon. I was also taught by Duncan Luca and James Tarot, and I have to say they've all shown me different techniques, but they're the ones that I've always gone back to, because they're just a lot easier. Because when looks like me pre-morning caffeine. Yes, yeah. It's I have to say I do like the wig. It definitely brings out the happiness in my eyes, I have to say. So if we start with the lips now. So as I said, we're just going to be touching up over where we've done the original highlights. Um, so as you can see, it's just going over the top, and we're just going to touch the top ends. And then once we get round to it, we will go back and do the fifth highlight. So with this, we're just trying to basically just give them a bit more life. So try and get where the highlight, where the sun would hit in the best areas. Oh, the troll! Oh, bless you. Yes, Ludo is definitely one of my favourite characters of Labyrinth. When Broken Toad and I think it was Black Sun Miniatures announced that they were doing this collaboration, I was there going, oh my goodness, this could be fantastic. My wallet didn't like it though, I have to say. And yes, Calvin, like those teachers, they have taught me so well. Because in Games Workshop, I had people who taught me how to play the game, and I have respect to James French for that one. Joe Logan, Ashley Homewood, all the Woking boys. I would probably best say people who have known me for quite some time and who were in the hobby when I was younger. Those were the guys that taught me how to paint, to play. Oh, they literally made me very, very happy when I was younger. A lot happier. Because, when you're trying to but like for example, like me, as some of you may or may not be aware, when I was younger, I was quite socially awkward. I didn't really know how to talk to people. I was very on my own and stuff. But now, thanks to GW, I was able to actually break away from that and actually stigma and actually just enjoy myself. Absolutely, Tom. Absolutely. Woking memories will never change. They never will. They will always they will always have a special place in my heart. And I will always treasure those memories. And yeah, I'll never forget those like games day events where we went to, and waking up in the mornings and going up to it. What's this? Have you painted any other Labyrinth models? And is there the one you would love to do that isn't out? Oh, very good question, Calvin. So when they announced the Kickstarter, yeah, man, like yeah, Tom, like I was talking about that my last stream though. Games Day sessions were fantastic. They were great. Yeah, no, Calvin. In terms of Labyrinth, Broken Toad didn't release many actual figures. They were mostly busts. So, excuse me. Got the wet the whistle. But yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, they released busts, and the busts were beautiful, I have to say. But they cost a kidney. They cost so much money. I don't want to know. Don't want to know how much I spent on this bundle. I think I spent about 350 quid. I dropped on this Kickstarter, but it wasn't just Labyrinth. It was the Dark Crystal as well. Because I recently, at the time, I got into watching the Dark Crystal Resistance on Netflix, and I was there. Oh yes, Tom. Yeah, that was a real hit to the wallet. I got a beating from that one. I did get a beating. But for me, it's like shiny magpie. I'm like, oh, new things. So I'll buy that, and I'll suffer the consequences later. But I thoroughly enjoyed when I finally got them, and but they did the Dark Crystal, and I have to say I spent more money on the Dark Crystal stuff. And the Dark Crystal stuff, I got a bust of the Chamberlain. I fucking love that man. I love the actor. I love the Chamberlain. I love his conniving, evil plans. I love it. I think he's one of the most evil characters ever created by any kind of creator. What's this, mate? Hello, Jen. How you doing? Oh, I'm so sorry. Pardon me. Let me just see if I can go scroll back on this. Hello, Jen. How you doing? Lovely to see you. Thank you very much for joining the stream. Have some You see, no, I've seen Marvel Crisis, and I've seen a few people well play it and well start painting and stuff. But I'm very good, Jen. Thank you very much for coming on. I really do appreciate the support. Thank you very much. You know, I've seen the Marvel Protocol stuff, Crisis Protocol, but I haven't had the time. I have not had the time. If you guys have seen my my Facebook stuff, it's literally just work, gym, and then home. Work, gym, home. I don't literally have any time. This is the original plan for this stream was to is to get me a bit more into my painting, and so far I've only failed to paint one evening, and that was only because I spent 4 hours in traffic coming home from Bournemouth last weekend. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'm sticking to the schedule. What's this, Kel? No money for food this month. That's a problem for the future. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. Lockdown for me, like some people, obviously for lockdown, it was very difficult, and you know, for my mental health and stuff, it was very tough, very very tough. And even during the second lockdown, it really pushed me to limits that I would never imagined. But in terms of money, my God, I was raking it because I wasn't spending money on fast food. I couldn't go out to the pub. I couldn't see my friends. So I was like, right, fine. I'm just gonna redecorate everything in my room. So I grabbed myself a new TV, a new paint desk, an airbrush, this equipment, and I was there like, right, how do I use this? So I kind of brought it all without knowing what to do with it. And I have to say that is a very Jack thing to do. A very, very Jack thing to do. Just go full pelt, go into it, and then come back and, you know, suffer the consequences later. And I will never, ever, ever do that again. Because it was just literally sitting there on my desk doing nothing, and I'm just like going, I spent money on you. Why are you not doing this? Yes, I know, Calvin. It was a very, very bad decision. All right, very, very bad. I literally got grilled. Now let's remember that paintbrush is now coming out now. So literally, when I whack the Chaos Gods out of that, just don't get the water on your laptop, because that was a lot of money. Because that also was an impulsive buy. That's another story. So what was I doing? Oh yeah, Talon Stone. So as we've been talking, I've literally started doing all the other base. I've almost finished up the highlights, touching them up as we've been discussing. Because we've got literally left to do is the nose, and the other things. I think. Oh, the ears. Sorry, I can't forget the ears. And Jen, thank you very much. I do appreciate the support, and you know, there's only been one of me, one crazy madman with a wig on, which I do enjoy. Hello to someone who joined. I'm not too sure who joined the viewing, but thank you very much for joining. Please make yourself known to the group, to the chat. That would be lovely. And we're going to go in there. Right. So as you can see, with again, I'm going to try and do my best to get a better camera, because I'm trying my best to show you guys what it looks like from here, because it looks like sausages up there. The hair look like sausages, but I can assure you they look all right for a guy that doesn't paint properly, or at least tries to act like he paints. I'm doing all right. So as you can see, the skin's doing quite well. The highlights are doing quite nicely. Ow, my back just clicked. I should not have done that on Saturday on the gym. Ow. And then we're going to do the inside the ears. Just down there, down there. And I think we're now going to go on to the next step. So this is where I was taught the other way about painting. So with the new GW way, it was very much a, you know, you guys may or may not be aware, it is a base coat, a shade, which is like an ink, and then it is a layer and layer. And that's a great way to start for anyone who's beginning to paint. It is the most simplest way of doing it. Or you can use contrast paints, which I have to say they are wicked. I used them when they were announced back in 2019. Yes, 2019. I got to use them at Warhammer Fest. And definitely, if you ever want to go to somewhere to enjoy the greatness of Warhammer, go to Warhammer Fest, because it's quite fun. So yeah, it's base, shade, layer, or contrast. But I for one have used contrast in my everyday painting. So this is a little teaser for the future, after Ludo, or if I might make a different video to this. So this Orc boy, you may not be able to see it properly if I turn off the light for a moment. So the Orc boy, if it comes out in focus, he was done in about an hour, and that's your decent standard. Well, I would say quite nicely put standard Orc boy. Again, I would love to. In fact, this might help if I can show you on this camera. There we go. Oh, rubbish. Anyway, that'll be on a picture for later. But yeah, no, this Orc boy took me about an hour to paint, and this was like a mixture of techniques from I was taught by MK Paints on Instagram, and with a few tips from Ben McIntyre and James Tarrant and Duncan Luger. So they've all helped me a lot in regards to getting this painting technique down to the T. So what we'll do next is we're going to go on to our fourth layer, which is the Carrick Stone, or sorry, Talaron sand mixed with Carrick Stone. So give it a bit of a shake, open it up. It hasn't been opened at all. That shows how much I love my paints. And then mix that together right here. So we're going to mix those two up. So you're going to get like a mid-tone between the two. And what this does is basically it will give you a bit more of a definition. And this is where you want to do it only pretty much on the height, the points where it's going to hit the sun, where the sun would hit it. So you're going to literally look at the lips, and most likely his eyebrows. Anywhere that you can basically think where the sun would hit it. Even in the cheeks, the smallest parts of the cheeks. Now, as you can see, this is very liney, and it's still very much me trying to get used to painting busts, but I have to say I'm still enjoying it. It's still a very, very, very interesting, different way of painting, I have to say. But as long as you enjoy your painting, that's the main thing, really. That's the best way to do it, I guess. So what did I do? What did I do this week? What was I planning on doing? So I've basically been working, and I've been planning on a new little tutorial, and this is what I was trying to think about when I was driving home, going, do I want to do this as a live video or not? And this would be how to paint an orc skin, or how to paint a battle ready orc in an hour. Now, those who don't know about orcs, especially in Warhammer 40,000, or should I say Age of Sigmar now, because that's what it's called now. There's a lot of them, a hell of a lot of orcs, and I for one, I really can't stand painting orcs. I hate it. I've always hated painting orcs because they're so numerous, but I know for a fact they do the job well, and they literally will get you through the victory as best as you can. However, you need to have the army fully painted, and I have not got a reputation, pardon me, for a fully painted army. My God, I should not drink fizzy drinks before the stream. I do apologise, everyone. So, and many people I know in the past have had problems. Not problems, but it's like, how do you paint orc skin? What's the best way to paint orc skin? And I, for one, always have found it very intimidating, because you don't know what to start with. You don't know how to start or what to start with. So what I'm going to do is I might make a separate video from this series of painting Ludo, and do basically a live stream or a video just showing exactly how long it takes to paint an orc from start to finish for a decent standard. So as we were talking, as you can see, Ludo is starting to get a lot more brighter and a lot more him, which is why I'm very happy to see, because when I look at things and when I do things, I always worry and going, am I going to fuck this up? Because I'm a very big perfectionist. I always am, and I want to make sure that I'm not wasting your time by watching these videos, because I try and make it enjoyable as possible. But I also want to make sure that the final result will look, at least good. Very enjoyable. Because this model in particular is actually going to be for a gift for someone. And again, this is all a big part of the plan to get it finished up and actually show that I can get this done in a good space of time. And then it's just a bit of a nice personal thing, because you can just give someone a gift and something, and that's great. And I'm sure the thought that it's the thought that counts. But I thought like a personalized gift might be a lot nicer, if that makes sense. And the person who's going to get this, I can't obviously let's say on live stream, because it's going to be a surprise. But yeah, I'm sure he's going to enjoy it. Like, excuse me for 1 second, I'm going to get my fan because it's quite hot in here. Because like wearing a massive wig can definitely get it really, really, really hot in here. And I'm like, no, it's too hot. Come on, get back, fan. That's it. Get in there. Get. That's it. Right, there you go. That's good. I'm not moving anyway now. I'm quite happy. I can be happily and die right now, as long as I'm away from this heat. So, what else have we got? Right, the final highlight for the skin is going to be just a straight highlight of Carrick Stone. Hoping it's Carrick Stone. Because if it isn't, oh yeah, absolute commitment. I've literally this was a dare. Not really a dare, but I thought to myself, you know what? I'm gonna give it a go and see how how it goes. I've got the artwork ready. I've got my logo ready to be unveiled at the start of July, and I'm there going, oh dear God, I'm going to have this image, this Bob Ross persona to live up to now, and I'm like, this is not what I want to do. This is not. This was only a joke. But I'm enjoying this, and it's given you guys some laughs, and I know a lot of people commented, so I'm in terms of outside of the stream and stuff, so it makes me smile, and if it makes me smile and makes you smile, then we're all gravy. So the final highlight is going to be where only the light will get the top, so it's going to be literally the smallest of the highlights and stuff. What's this? Yeah, it's nice. It's nice getting little compliments. It's very pleasant. And I like it. And I've always done this because I've always done this because I want to just have a bit of a laugh, really. Not to do anything further. Because obviously the other reason why I use this Twitch is to DJ and stuff from. But I have to say I'm enjoying the painting as well. Because I originally thought that the DJing was going to be taking over of the Twitch stream, but actually it's the hobby, it's the painting that actually is. So as you can see, I just tried to put on that model there. I thought maybe doing a highlight on his cheek might be better, but no, we're literally going to do the tops of where it's going to be. Because now I've got a fair few people watching now, I'm starting to get nervous. So we're going to do the backs as well. So one stroke down there, like literally you're going to do smallest of strokes. Very liney, very, very nice lines. But again, this is only just going to be a bit more do, do, do. I swear to God, I'm going to get a better set up this bloody camera because I just want you to be able to see. Because I'm worried not going to see, and that's the point of this damn stream. And also my soothing voice to calm your Sunday woes for the week working week ahead. And oh my goodness, I just want a holiday. I just want a holiday. I want to go to my parents' villa. I want to go to my parents' villa in the Canary Islands and just relax with a cocktail, with music in my ears. That's all I want. That's all I ever want. But until then, you have to deal with me painting. Um, but as I was going to say, as I always say in my streams, especially in the painting streams, is if any of you guys or gals want to, thank you very much, Kevin. I do appreciate you coming in and saying hello. Thank you very much, and I hope your stream goes very well. Thank you very much again. But I have to say, as always, as I say on my streams, if any of you want any painting tips on certain things like other skin, weapons, and stuff like that, I am more than happy. I am more than happy to try and look into some techniques and do that for you, because it always could be. Because I know for a fact it can be quite difficult sometimes, where you want to learn something new, and it can be quite daunting to learn how to paint something new. And you can always go into your local games workshop, because they're fantastic to they are really fantastic, and they give great advice. Martin and Sam, both who run Guildford and Woking Games workshops in my local area anyway, they're fantastic. Their knowledge of painting is beyond mine, hands down. And they've painted some fantastic things recently. And if any of you needs, that's the first step. But if you want to enjoy a bit more, you can always put your comments in the chat, and I'll do my best to answer those. In regards to what I do, what I like, what I don't like, because some people I'm sure will be aware in the stream that I despise elves, absolutely despise them. I think they smell funny, they look funny, and they're too tall and pointy ears. I just don't like them. I just don't like them at all. So like when I think this. Oh, and also Bretonians. I can't stand Bretonians. I have a massive hatred for Bretonians, and they those in the chat who don't know who Bretonians were, they were an army in Warhammer Fantasy. So they were like the Knights of the Round Table. They were like the French knights. They're chivalrous. They will try and take over. They will try and save the princess from the evil dragon and stuff. And I'm like, that dragon's got feelings too. That dragon has got feelings. So what you're doing is evil bad. You're doing a bad thing as well. That's my opinion of him. But it's because my friend at the time, and still friend now, Ben McIntyre, he was notorious for killing my goddamn ogre army. Every time I would always get so close to winning, so close, and then I would die. Because Bretonians just ran my ogres down. And the one time I was so close, like to the point where I was gritting my teeth, I lost out because of a stupid rule. And I'm not bitter about it. Still, I promise you, I just have just a slight problem. Because I just like monsters, beasts, dragons, like the evil things. I do love to pieces. Apart from if they're cute and cuddly, like Ludo, because he is adorable, hands down. So, as you can now see, ladies and gentlemen, the skin, I have to say, is happily done. To the point where I'm happy with it. But there's one thing I am going to do, and that is going to glaze the figurine later on. But I'm going to do that later, and I will show you exactly what I mean. Glazing basically is very watered down paint, but you go over the top and it kind of blends all the colours back together nicely. But I will show you that later on. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start working on his eyes. Well, I'm going to basically blot out his eyes to get ready for it next time, and his nose. But I'm also going to start working on his horns. Because the horns, I have to say, in the picture as you see down below, very much greyish brown, but very, I would say I would start with brown. Well, we started with brown, but we're going to work up to this. So let's get some black paint and we're going to start this up. So I think we're going to go with, I'm going to try and stick with the Games Workshop feel. So please apologise for the slight delay. So start off with that. Where? Ah, how odd. My paints have, I have literally misplaced my paints. 1 second. There they are. Literally right in front of me. I just didn't get them out in time for the stream. So, what we're going to do is I would normally use Abaddon Black, which you can get from Games Workshop, but I haven't got that today, so I'm going to use Vallejo Air. There you go, Vallejo Air Game Air Black, and that basically is a very decent color black, and just to blot out the details that you need. So I'm going to put that onto the palette. So this is the air variant, which is normally used for putting through an airbrush. So I'm going to have to be very careful and make sure that it's not too liquidy, and just basically put it onto the eyes. So with these eyes, I'm going to use a Winsor & Newton Series 7. It's going to be number 1 here. Because Winsor & Newtons, as well as Broken Toad, they're wicked. I found they've been very effective. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to simply blot out Ludo's eyes with black. And because it's the air variant, I would definitely use a couple of coats. Because I need to do a bit more research into Ludo's eyes, because eyes on miniatures I've done before and they've been very easy, because it's literally just black, then white, then black again, and then white. I think can't remember, but it's basically just like black for the color eyes, and then what was it again? It was white, black, white. That's it. Yeah, so literally it was white, then black for the pupil, then white for the iris, and I kind of got used to doing that. Oh, look at his face. He looks so adorable. Look at that face. So I do that, and then we're going to try and start. Just as you can see with Ludo's nose, it is basically black. So what we're going to do is we're going to mix in black with the grey that we used. So we're going to steadily go from grey to black, basically. So we started with Steel Legion Drab with that bad boy. There we go. So we're gonna. Thank you very much, Tom. I do appreciate that, man. It's people like yourself. You've always been the superior painting protege, the superior painting person, when I've always been the gaming person. But I'm now literally using this time to basically do my best and try and learn some more basics. And by the way, anyone who's actually watching the stream or watching this future stream, please go follow Planet Mithril Plays, because he's doing some fantastic Lord of the Rings tutorials, and I've watched a few, and they are very useful, very useful. So you can learn a lot from Mr. Tom. So please go follow him on YouTube and give some support to these people who are actually loving the hobby and doing the best they can. So what I've done. No, man, no. I'm just doing my thing, man. I'm a monkey man. I'm just doing what I think is right, and I think promoting people via these kind of streams is great, because during lockdown stuff, people need to have a bit of fun and enjoyment. So why not do both? Do a bit of free advertising for everyone and just enjoy yourself. So as you can see with the nose, it's originally on. That was straight after Steel Legion Drab and Agrax Earthshade. Agrax Earthshade over the top. My apologies, my mouth is just there today. So what I'm going to do is go over the nose and just colour it in with just grey. Because what we're going to do is we're going to try and get that nose back up to normal colour, but we're going to start with the grey base coat first. So you can see underneath it's going to be the grey and then go up back through to Steel Lead. Well, I don't know, I might be just talking bollocks, to be honest. I'm just going to go from grey up to black. Black. What am I doing? I think I've done that wrong. Yes, I've done that wrong. It should have been black going up to grey. But then again, you could see that Ludo's face down below, his nose, is kind of more greyish than black. So we're going to go a very subtle grey. I do know what I'm doing, I swear. I do know. It's not made up, I swear. And we've also got to do his teeth as well. But we're going to try style it on my fin. Yes, I try and style. I do. I try and make sure that most of the stuff I do is mostly prepped. Only like 10 or 15% of my work is freehand. I swear. I swear it's mostly it's prepared. I think. And I'm questioning myself. So as you can see from what we've got down here, the skin is very much done. I will be doing the glaze in a bit just to show you guys exactly what to do. The nose is more now grey. The eyes are now fully black, but I'm going to go back over them with that just to kind of get a more defined look. Ooh, I might like this now, because I actually can rotate it and you can see it on the camera. My God, I'm learning. Everyone panic. And Mork knows now how to use a camera, or at least paint on a camera. My God, this is crazy. Hide your children. I joke. I don't want to eat your children. Right. Okay. My apologies. Okay. So, as you can see, we've got... Right. We've got our nice little Ludo here. And we're now going to work on the horns. So, that's not the right brown. I remember that entirely. I think we used dried bark, and I've got a funny feeling, again, it's not on my prep thing. So please, bear with me for a second. Right. We have dried bark. Oh, God. Okay. Nope, now looking at it, I had the right paint along. It was Rhinox High. God, I love painting. I really do. I love painting so much. You can tell it in my face. I love it so much. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate it. But it's enjoyable to an extent. So we're going to go back to the Rhinox side, and we're going to now start highlighting up into grey, but we're going to do it very slightly. So what I'm going to do, wet palette right here, is we're going to go with Rhinox side, because as you may or may not remember, that we started off these horns with Rhinox hide, and we Agrax surf washed them, so we've got them all ready to go. But then what I want to do is then start making a bit more grey. So what I will do is I only want it to be very subtle. So I'm going to use a bit of Macarius Standard Grey, which is right here. as you can see on the old camera. Again, people that have just joined the stream or have not looked at my videos, but basically I want to try and make sure that people who can use or want to use Citadel miniatures, Citadel paints can do, and show you exactly what you can do, and basically just basically show that what you can do with Citadel paints is quite good. They're quite useful, and yes, there are other brands you can use, and as you saw, I used Vallejo Air before, but there are a lot of paints you can use for Citadel, and they are getting a lot better with the other paints. Even though I do own a fair few Vallejo paints, but for my airbrush, which I have yet to use for a very long time, but I will get back to that one day. So with the horns, we're gonna do this very, very slowly, but we're gonna go above. I'm gonna try and just give them a bit more of a grayish brown feel. So again, it's just kind of like doing it with the skin and following it around. But leaving the original colour around the bottom. And you can even still sense in my voice that I still don't know what the hell I'm doing. But I'm rolling with it as best I can. Because remember, we don't have happy mistakes. We don't have accidents, we have happy mistakes. Always. Always. And as you can see, it's just going very, very slowly. Very. But again, this is my first attempt at painting a bust, and I have to say it's been fun, very enjoyable, but it's something that I would definitely recommend someone to do in their at least try. If you want to try and paint something, definitely try a bust. If you find something that you wanted to try. But it all depends on your likes, basically, because I'm very much a miniatures painter. I like doing this because it makes me a lot more happier, if that's the word to use. And it's very therapeutic. Very something you can come home to and just relax and enjoy. And yeah, it can be quite intimidating sometimes, but once you get this flow of it, it's quite handy. And I know there are a lot of good painters out there, a hell of a lot of painters, and I know for a fact they outrank me hands down. But one thing I learned a long time ago, and I remember this to my last days of painting these damn miniatures, is as long as you're happy with your miniatures, it doesn't matter it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. Because if you can take pride in your miniatures and you enjoy your miniatures, then that's all that matters. Because again, it's your hobby, and you can do what you wish. And that's one thing I will always remember. So just gonna go straight back into this. So we're gonna do lines down. Again, I'm trying my best to not touch the miniature, but it happens. It does happen where it's just like you touch the miniature while you're painting, and it's just like, no, don't do it, because that's the last thing you want to do. Is don't want to get fingerprints on your miniatures. It's the last thing. Okay, right. So as you can see, the horns are starting to get a bit more grayer, but you can still see the original brown through. But again, we're gonna with all these lines, etc. We're gonna try and use the glazes to kind of put it back together and make it a bit more um, make it a bit more cohesive with each other and make it a bit more smoother. It's still something that I'm still learning, but it's still something which I'm enjoying and enjoying learning, basically. So remember to whack the chaos gods out of those paintbrushes, because every time I try and paint, and there's always something that messes up, and I cannot always get stuck in. There's one bit at the end of the brush. I don't know if you guys ever have had this, but you try and finish off a paint. You want to get onto the last bit of this painting malarkey, and the tip of the paint starts getting dry. And I'm like, no, no, and you have to restart again from the process, and it sucks. It does suck, but as long as you get it sorted, that's fine. So we're gonna do I think we're gonna do one more highlight of those horns just to get a bit more of a pop, and then go back to Macaro Grey, back to your original mix here, which you can see in there, and just add a bit more grey. So it's going to be definitely more greyish now, but once we go over the top, it's just going to go only on a few parts of the model. Just bring out, so it's kind of like more purple, but it's just now going to bring out a few bits of enjoy it. Just a bit more of definition onto the horns. But it's just trying to get used to this as best I can. Okay. Just slow, just literally dabbing it on, just get it on there. Okay. So there we go. Oh, there's a bit down there as well. Before I forget, I don't know. Do not wish to forget any part mentioned, because I hate that. So that is okay for the moment. I'm now going to try and attempt to glaze the skin, because I really want to try and show you guys exactly how to do this. So what we're going to do is we're going to need, where is that thing that I had? Where did I put that thing? There it is. This thing here. It came with the wet palette. I'll just kind of turn it off there for a second. It's just your average kind of mixing pot, but these are quite handy when you want to add water effects. Not water effects, but kind of wet, like kind of more. You want to basically just glaze or make inks, what makes paint washes. So when I say glaze, what I'm going to do is, it's kind of the same as inking, but this is basically trying to blend everything together very nicely. And I was taught this by my friend Dave Glacier, and he's taught me a lot in terms of the painting as well, in terms of my ogres. And my ogres now are very nice, thanks to him. And I check him out on Instagram, Armory Dave, and he's doing a lot of 30k Horus Heresy right now. And soon as he finishes up the, I'm sure when he finishes up the evening, the project, he's going to do a lot more, which I'm looking forward to seeing what he does. Okay, so we're now going to go onto the glaze. So what we do is we're going to grab a bit of the paint, stick it in there, and then what you want to do is add a few bits. You basically want to add a bit of water to it, and basically make it like an ink, because what this will do is then it will allow you to one second, it will allow you basically to keep it going. Basically it will make you able to at least blend everything together. Well, this is the hope. Um, because glazing is something that I've used in the past, as I said to you with my ogres. Um, but it does help. It is quite handy. So let's see how this goes, shall we? And with glazing, it definitely will take some time. So you want to make sure when you glaze, it's the last thing you do, or there's nothing else you won't wish to do. Because I do not wish to um, darken anything down. I just want to basically blend it all together. So with the glazing, it will still go into the cracks and the creases. But you just don't want it to kind of you don't want it to go over the top. So once you see stuff pulling down, you want to at least try and cover it or make sure it doesn't go everywhere. Sorry, you don't want it to basically pull into the cracks because that will stain. Um, so hopefully this should all work out in the end. Doobie doo 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 doo. Do 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 do. Do, 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 do. I like humming that theme song. I have to say thank you to Bob Ross for having a fantastic idea to like just have that such a peaceful intro to that. Yeah, it's just perfect. Ah, I'm liking this glaze. I've still got it. I've still got the glaze. I can still glaze. It's quite pleasant. Sorry, 1 second. Just gonna go into just X and Y and see how this is going on. Oh, it's quite interesting, I have to say. It's quite handy. Thank you all to who's thank you to everyone who is watching currently. It's sorry, I for a second I thought no one was on the stream. I was there going, no one's on, no one's on. So I'm talking to myself, I'm going mad. But I've just gone onto Twitch and I can see that you are still here. Just my program was being a bit of a being a bit faulty. I don't know why. I don't know why that would happen, but I just want to say thank you again for joining me as best you can. So as you can see, or probably may not be able to see if I just put that on there. At the current stage, again with the camera, it's not going to pick it up, but it's basically this is blending everything together, so you'll be able to see all these all the kind of dark parts are now being blended into one, and you always use your original tone. You always do, because the original color is going to basically allow you to. It just makes it a lot. Thank you very much, Tom. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, it's the skin. It's definitely it's it's something that I've learned in the past, and it's it's handy to have. It really is handy. Because for one, I used to always keep. I just like not having those lines. I hate having those lines. So I want to try at least cover it all up in one go, or at least trying to make it um, a bit more. Well, one of you. I don't know. I don't know. What am I supposed smoother? Let's go with smooth. Yeah, we'll go smoother. It just makes it a lot more smoother, and I enjoy having just the free reign of it basically. I have to say this is actually looking quite nice, and I'm quite shocked at myself. um, and I think what we're going to do as well is we're going to take what we've done with the glaze of the skin, and we're now going to do the glaze with the hair, because I think that's definitely required for tonight. Excuse me. Mother's milk. It's the one thing It's the one thing that I live off these days. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to Jaquera Orange, and that was the base coat that we used for the hair. And we're now going to do the same thing. We're going to try and blend that back in. We're going to try and use that on the hair and blend it all into one. Because that one thing at the moment it looks like sausages. It looks like sausages, and not that it's a bad thing. I just want to be able to. I want to be able to look at it and go, actually, it's very nice and very nice and neat, basically. So one thing of glazing, I will say with glazing, never put the second glaze on the same area until it's clean, or until it's dry, because if you do, it will lose the effect. So I've luckily spent just a bit of time just to get rid of all the loose bits of the painting and the cracks, because the last thing you want is like, not that it's a bad thing, but I just don't like having the so I'm trying to get that. I'm trying to get the sun. There we go. I want to try and it's just I like to make sure that it is smooth, and once you get bubbles in them, once you get like the ink drying in the recesses, it just kind of breaks the illusion, if that's the best way to put it. It's a very different kind of thing, if that's the best way to put it. But I am very much open to trying to get better at things, but it just takes time. Oop. I don't know what the hell I chucked then. I think I may have been paint, but I'll pick that up later. So we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the orange. So this is the Jaquera orange that we used for the base of Ludo's hair. Crack it open and do the same thing. So if you can see here, I'm gonna take the thing away so you can see it clearly. So I know for a fact when I did this the first time, it was very confusing. So you get literally a dab of paint in there like that, and you're literally going to add water to it. That's all you're doing, and you're turning it more into like a water, like a very much heavily water based. And then if you see, when you go down the side, it literally turns into like just water. Doesn't matter how watery you get, how many liquids you get, as long as you can control it. That's the main thing. Because if you can't control it, it's gonna run down the miniature, and that's the last thing you want. Because you don't want orange streeping down like Ludo's face, like he's an orange emo, like a seeing kid. Like, oh, my hair is bleached. Oh, the hair is all going wrong. That's what you don't want. I tell you that, it's horrible. I've had it done before. So the best thing to do is hold the miniature on its back, or facing down, so it goes backwards. Yeah, it does. Yeah, definitely true. Unclean one. It does go chalky. I hate that when it happens. I hate it. So as you can see, we're just going to do very, very, very carefully on the hair, and hopefully this should at least bring it all together. Now again, this could go wrong. I want to emphasize that it could all go horribly wrong, but I'm quite lucky when it comes to painting most things. I seem to get away with it in the end, but as long as it kind of blends it all in the same time, that's all that matters. And Sid Still do have their own. I think they had their own. I think they still have their own glaze range. I can't remember, because I know they used to have Gulliman Blue, Waywatcher Green, or was it Contrast took over? I don't know. That's a very good question. I have to find that out now. I'm very curious, because I've got a funny feeling that they may actually have gotten rid of the glazes and made them into Contrast, because effectively Contrast does glazing. That's exactly what it does. It basically just, oh, hang on, oh, there we go, a bit of running down the back there. So luckily I felt that on my finger, so I literally just rub it away. Because the hair we painted back in fact, that was the first episode. That was about 5 weeks ago. We painted the hair. So back then, oh no, here we go. We're going overdose. So You know what I said about making it a lot watery? Don't. Just keep. Don't try and do it the best we can. And as I said, trial and error. It's absolutely fine. Because if it goes onto the miniature, the parts you don't want it to be, and it glazes, it stains, it's fine. Because you can always go back and then kind of figure out, or go back over and stuff. You can always make sure it goes back. You can always make sure you can work back to the base color. So as you see at the back, it was grey as Ludo's skin. So that's where it this is where it glazed off. But if you just rub it off, you can always go back to it and stuff. So it's absolutely fine in the end. I think that's all. Whoop, my back's all good. Okay, I have to say, like, not blowing my own trumpet, but I'm happy with that. It's getting there. It is slowly but surely getting there. And I'm still terrified about that. Again, I am very much a person who is more of a gamer than a Warhammer gamer than a painter, but I'm very happy I'm getting around to this. Oh God. I don't know about you, but do you find in the winter, summer, do you find that it just, you get a lot thirstier? And it may just be because it's hot, but the thing is though, it's not that hot outside. That's the thing. It's very much, it's just, I don't know, it's just ridiculously humid. I'm just there like going, no, I don't feel like this. I really don't. So now we've done the glaze on the hair. We're going to leave the horns. We're going to do that. I'm going to glaze that another time. So what we're going to do now is we're going to try. Pardon me. Oh my God, I felt like Ludo then, bloody burping. Oh God, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. This is not a show. This is not a kid-friendly show. This is me being a very, very much an ogre kind of person. So I do apologise. I do worry about myself. I really do worry about why you guys put up with my damn antics. So we're gonna try and do the some of his bone, his two teeth in the bottom. So if I remember correctly, there we go. So we're gonna try and do this very, not quickly, but I'll show you if I can do this. I can do this in like a effective way. So we're gonna do the bones. We're going to start with Xandri Dust, then go Shabty Bone, and then the last bit is Flayed One Flesh, and that's sort of the highlights. So if we go back to our Windsor and Newton Series 1, or Series 7 Size 1, and then start paying up his, oh my God, that looks awful. That's the problem with these paints. If you don't use them for a while, they start to break up from the paints and the paint molecules and the liquid. So I have one of these, and no, it's not a breast. It's not a breast. It is a it's a paint shake. It's a thing. Thank you very much, Tom. Thank you very much for sticking by. I do appreciate it, and I'll catch you another time. All right, take it easy. So this is basically a test tube shaker. But I was again told by James Tower they're quite handy to mix our paints when they've broken up. So literally what I do is just basically put it on there and just let it shake for about a minute. Just make sure you give it a little bit of a damage. A held. Oh. Yeah, I know what you mean, man. Like unclean one. The beads and stuff there. I've tried that once before, but I'm lazy. I don't know if you picked it up by now, but I'm very lazy. Very, very lazy. So if I can just get a machine to do it for me, I'll do that way. And it only cost me £90, so it's fine. Again, £90, I didn't really use that lot, so keep that quiet. And I hope my parents aren't watching this because they'll kill me. So Vantage Dust will pop open again, and it's all mixed in perfectly back together and normal. So we'll take our paint back onto the wet palette, and then we'll start doing this teeth. So if I just show it like that, yeah, I know, yeah, it is laughable. It's yeah, don't ever. My parents are very much. They do. They love what they love. They so love the fact they got me into this hobby when I was younger. They loved it. They were like, oh, we need free childcare. Let's send them off to Games Workshop. Worst decision of their lives. Because I swear to God, this stuff costs more than drugs. Because drugs, I swear to God, do not cost you a lot of money compared to this hobby. I guarantee. So we're gonna go with just look at his face. Look at his cute face. I mean, how can you say no to that? Oh, that's a good point. How much are those small plastic Barbies, space Barbies? Yeah, that's very true. When I started this hobby, I remember Space Marine a 10 man Space Marine squad was 15 quid, I think. Yeah, no, £18. £18. Yeah, 10 Marines was £18, and I grabbed that. Well, I say that was the first thing I grabbed. That was not the first thing I grabbed. The first thing I brought was a Land Raider, because I really wanted to get a Land Raider, and I wanted to show it off the next day. So I very excitedly built it up that same day, and oh my goodness, the next day it just looked atrocious. I was so excited to get it done, so excited to get it finished. So I painted it. Sorry, I made it. I can't think I at least tried to use like a little detail brush to paint the green, because I was doing Dark Angels at the time. Pardon me. And the person who now is a close friend of mine, Duncan Luca. I don't know what the hell he thought. He must have been like, "What are you playing at? Like what? How? What are you playing at?" Like, I know you're excited, but my goodness, it's just crazy. Like, you just need to just enjoy yourself. But I was very keen as a child, very very keen. If you haven't really guessed that by now, ladies and gentlemen. So as you can see, his horn's doing quite well. I say his horns, his teeth. So I'm gonna leave it to dry for a bit. I'm gonna agrax that. We're gonna try and agrax that in a bit as well. My God, this hair, itchy as hell, itchy. But luckily it hasn't fallen into my workstation yet, so that's a part of it. What's this? Yeah. Pocket money, a new box of minis, and yeah, you and me both. Couple weeks of pocket money, and you had a box of minis. Now I need to remortgage. My first purchase was 4 boxes of my God, that was your first purchase? 4 boxes of clown rats? My goodness me. Oh God, those are the days. Oh, I miss Warhammer 8th. I really do. I miss old Warhammer. I really, really do. Like, there is not. I don't get me wrong. Like, I love Age of Sigmar. It took a long time for me to like. Oh, bless ya. 9 or 10. I think I started this hobby when I was. Hang on. I think I was 6 or 7 when I started this hobby. So I've been doing this about 20 plus years now. And yeah, as I said, my first purchase was a Land Raider. And yeah, I loved it. It was great. But you talk about clown rats, Mr. Unclean One. I loved Warhammer 8th. Was just, I loved it. It's a lot of people slayed it because of the Death Stars of what people had, and I can't complain because I used an ogre Death Star, and oh, it was glorious. Oh, it was so much fun seeing the fear in your enemy's eyes, or the complete and utter look of "I think you're an absolute arsehole." That was mostly what people I think I saw in people's eyes, because I was that person. I was the person that took 18 Iron Guts, which are these hulking brutes of muscle and fat. Basically, an army of me that basically ranked up in of this massive, cool-looking unit of 60 miniatures, and literally was a block and was like sitting right there. Go for it, and just move up the board. Anything touches it, it's dead. It's gone. And I've always had this a rivalry you could call it with again Mr. Dave Glacier, and oh my goodness, he had sent in so much stuff. I remember it so well. You've got my memories going down memory lane right now. Fuck Ludo. we're going down memory lane on this one. So he threw out a bet or not a bet, but he threw down the gauntlet saying that he wants to try and take down this Gut Star. And this Gut Star, ladies and gentlemen, this Gut Star was the tits. This was a 1,250 point unit of death. And when I mean it's a Death Star, ladies and gentlemen, is that you have a certain amount of gold. Let's say you have like 2,000 pieces of gold to work to make your army. And this unit, this Gut Star, this unit of like fat, ugly, strong, muscle-bound buffoon ogres with great weapons, axes, hammers, swords, you name it. This and all the characters, the wizards, the leader that was in this unit, this all came up to 1,256 points, or around that. I think it was to 1,250, and that was half my army. So if I lost that unit, that was game over. And there were many times where it happened where I was on the brink of losing that unit, and it was awful, absolutely awful. But the thing that made this unit so strong was a spell called Troll Guts, and Troll Guts was a spell which ogres used to have. And Troll Guts, they may have it now in Age of Sigmar, but Troll Guts basically was a spell where the butcher just gets like these guts out of his bag, his like leftover bags from last night's dinner, and he would eat the troll guts, and then he would basically give the unit he's with the power of a troll to regenerate. And even in these myths right now, but folklore and stuff, trolls have the ability to trolls don't just live under bridges, they have the ability to heal wounds. Some can be even more fatal, and every turn you were guaranteed to get troll guts off. And this unit was what you could basically make it stronger, tougher to kill, magic resistant. You could basically make this unit a death machine. But Dave, as being the very courageous person that he was, and he still is to this day, my goodness, he is a madman. He basically wanted to try and take my Death Star down, and I was like, yeah, let's do it, absolutely, let's go for a ride. And he managed the fight. We managed the game, and it was going back and forth to a point where my Gut Star was locked in combat, and it would just not move. It was just sitting there. It did not move, and it was literally, my characters were just literally killing each other to the end. Because again, another big thing about the Gut Star was that the character, the leader, the tyrant, my name was Brogash, I think I called him Brogash. He had a crown on his head, and it was called the Crown of Commandment. And basically, it made the unit just unwillingly loyal to break away. They just would not run. So he would literally sit there and go, no, don't care how many of you killed. I'm all good. I'm fine. And then because of that fear that he would inspire into his, or you could call it fear or inspiration, you could call it into his troops, he would be like, you have to roll 2 dice. And on the total, when you roll the 2 dice, you add up what you get, which would be like a 5 and a 5 and a 4. If that was under 10, you're not moving. And literally, the Gut Star just did not run. Every turn I was like, no, under 10, under 10, under 10. I was not running away. And I think it was down to the last turn, and all that was left was Brogash, the battle standard bearer who waved the flag, the very snazzy flag. The unit champion of the Iron Guts, Brogash the BSB, the unit champion, and I think it was a character, the Butcher, was alive left, and my rest of the army was dead. The entire army was dead. And Dave's army, he had some from plague toads, so like these like toads which are like hoppity about and stuff, but they're full of pus and putrid and just nastiness. And they were on the side of this unit, and I think a unit of demons. I can't remember. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I can't remember the demon's name. But yeah, we were literally the final turn, and we totaled up points, because in Warhammer back then it was how many points you killed and how many standards you captured. Like when I mean capturing standards is like if you killed a unit and it had like a flag, it had a massive pointy stick. If you got that banner, you got extra points to win the game. And you guys should know by now that I'm very much I'm gonna kill everything, and I don't care if I win or lose. But there are some games some games where I'm very much like, I want to win. And I will do absolutely anything in my power in the best way or best sportsmanship like point I can do. Unless it's with Dave, then I'm going to win. I'm going to try and win as best I can. Because he is lovable mother trucker and I've always had respect for him. But he laid down the gun and I was going to take him to the cleaners. And I think we totaled up the points and he killed... Oh, what was it? I think... Because back then as well, you had to kill the entire unit to get the points. So because the unit champion was left, he didn't get the entire unit. He didn't get the entire points for the Iron Guards. And because my leader was alive and most of the high command characters were still there, I still had over 1,255 points left on the table. And Dave, unfortunately, didn't have much left. And so I won as a man of victory. And I was like, you can't kill ogres, baby. They're gonna stay on top. And that's the longest left turn I've done in terms of this painting channel, I have to say. A full description of my rivalry between Mr. Dave Glacier and my ogres and the laying down of the gauntlet. And I would love to, if anyone is watching this in the future or now, the gauntlet is always there. My current ogre army, the Moo Raiders, they are always currently up for a challenge, and I have to say they are very much not in the prime because obviously I haven't played the game for a very long time because of lockdown. I'm gonna get some aggro stuff. I'm gonna show you about the teeth. I haven't played the game for a very long time, but I tell you what, does not mean I'm not up for a challenge because I'm always down for a challenge. So if this can be anything, this can be from a painting challenge, this could be a gaming challenge, I don't mind at all. You can say what you wish, but I would love to have any challenges. I do love not proving people wrong, but I love trying to at least do a lot of stuff, which I think is cool. As long as it involves orcs, ogres, trolls, giants, I'm happy. Because speaking of ogres, I've heard on the grapevine that obviously we've got the new AOS because how cool the Dominion box was announced, was released yesterday, and oh my goodness, it looked amazing. It looks great, but the thing is, I don't know about you guys, but I don't like the look of the new orcs. Because if you look at them, they look very much like the new like Lord of the Rings orcs, and that's not a bad thing. But I just don't think it fits in with the orc aesthetic that they've got right now. Because you look at the orcs now, and they're very much like very jokey, very cartoony. But these ones are very like twisted, very cruel, and like they are called cruel boys. But I just don't like them. I don't think they. I like the cartoon. I like the cartoonist. I like the fun aspect of an orc army or like an orc army. But I mean, it's all right. I mean, it's nice to see a destruction force in the starter set. Don't get me wrong, it's great. But my heart will always be with ogres because ogres definitely in fantasy. So like my plan is in the future is to have just focus on ogres in AOS. I'm going to be working on a Sons of Baphomet, I think. Yeah, a Sons of Baphomet army. And I'm going to be working on my troll army. Because there's one troll character which I love to pieces. And I was very lucky enough to be given this by a very close friend of mine. Because I lost mine in a long time. But I found this guy. I'll move that to a side. And people that don't know him, this, ladies and gentlemen, is Frog the Troll King. And Frog was one of my favourite miniatures of all time, released for the the Warriors of Chaos army. And he's basically a Chaos Troll. And I was looking for him for years, absolute years, after I got rid of mine. Because when I worked for Games Workshop, I painted him up and I think I sold him off, because I didn't think you could ever do a troll army again. But then obviously when the Gloom Spike Gits came out, you could do a troll army, and I'm like, oh, tell me more. So I found one, and my mate gave it to me, which I was very happy for him to do. So thank you very much. I can't name his name on the stream, unfortunately. But I'm going to be using him as my Troggoth boss, and I'm going to be making up a Troggoth army just for Gloomspite, just trolls. So it's going to be led by him. You're going to have two massive Troggoth massive troll giants, and then just an army of trolls. And I'm going to do like the really nice cartoony blue, like like traditional like 90s animation blue trolls, because I just think they look spot on. And then the Sons of Baphomet, I'll be doing a army of them, because now, like with the new General's Handbook, the Mega Gargan's a battle line, so I can have an army of 4 massive giants. I'm like, yes please. It's like having Imperial Knights in Age of Sigmar. I will take that hands down. So I'll be doing that in the future as well. So they're going to be my my AOS armies. Then 40k, I'm just going to solely focus on foot orcs, because I've done orcs since I was 10, and I've never ever had like an attachment to an army that I've never had before of orcs. And I think now, doing the last points, I think I was up to about 8,000 points of orcs, but that was before the new edition came out. So I've made a list of what I need to do, and this is why this is gonna lead into another kind of video about how to paint an orc boy. But I would love to hear back from you guys. So if you want to make any comments on what you want to paint, what you like me to paint, what you would like to challenge me to paint, I will gladly do so for your enjoyment and go from there, basically. So what with this, Unclean One says, I like that aesthetic, but it's super different to the cartoonish style they used to have. But that's the way everything's going with GW now. Yes, you are very true. It's the aesthetic is changing, and it's, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it, because Games Workshop obviously have a tendency of changing the way they do things, and that's absolutely fine, because they're a massive company. They can do what they want. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean you can't keep that aesthetic. So, for example, oh my god, here's another tangent. So before we go into the tangent, I will go on to I will show you the next step, because we're currently up to 8:30, and I said we're going to do a 2-hour stream. So, I'm happy. I was going to push to 1, but doing a 2-hour stream, I'm really happy to do so. So as long as you guys are enjoying it and you're sticking around with me to the end, I will gladly keep going. So we're going to do Agrex Surfshade. So we're going to do Agrex Surfshade here, and just stick it in here again. We're going to do literally the teeth, and just glaze it up here and there. So just like the glaze, whereas the glaze will go into the recesses and kind of mold it together, this goes in and darkens it and gives it a bit more of a kind of darker feel, and it kind of brings out more detail. So if we just go right here, and there we go. So as you can see, it darkens it down, but also gives you it gives you more details, basically. But the last thing I want to do, just use that and just cover it up, because you can see where it's pooling down the bottom. So if you want to clean your brush and then just basically get that out there and give it a bit more of a kind of darkish look. So there you go, there's the thing right there. So we'll let it dry, and then I will get on to the next step, which will be a highlight of Ushabti Bone and Flame on Flesh. But I'm going to try and see if I can find Screaming Skull. Because Screaming Skull, there we go. Screaming Skull is the original highlight for the bone, if you're going to do this process. But I definitely prefer doing the, what was it? I just had it now. Oh, there you go. Zandri Dust, Ushabti Bone, and then Screaming Skull. Because I think that was like the standard bone, the way I do bone, hands down. But we'll go into that in a bit. But yeah, my other tangent. So you talk, Mr. Unclean One. You talk about the way that the aesthetic is, and I completely agree. Because what you guys may or may not know, but please tell if I have said this before. But when I was younger, or when I was young Warthog, many years ago, Forge World, which is Games Workshop's sister company, brought out a unit called Rhinox Riders. And Rhinox Riders were an ogre cavalry unit, and they were the first of its kind. So basically, imagine these massive, big off fucking woolly rhinos that are very angry, very angry, very dim-witted, very dumb, but they would literally come at you and they will literally flatten you like a pancake. And they brought them out, and they were fantastic. They were a fantastic unit. But the thing is, they were very expensive. I think they were like 40. I think they were 95 for free back then, or maybe even more. Maybe in £100, 100. Let's say £105. £105 for two basic Rhinox and the Thunderlord, which was the character. And they were great. They were awesome. But I brought three of them. In fact, I think I brought six or four. I initially bought three normal ones and the rider, because I wanted to have a unit of four on the battlefield, and just they were a massive point soak, but they were really fun and they were great to use. But then they brought out the Mormfang, and the Rhinox Riders no longer had rules you could use in the game. And because of this, Games Workshop decided, or Forge decided, to get rid of them. So at the time, I was working for Games Workshop, and I did a very, very, very bold thing. I bought 20 of them. 20 Rhinox Riders at £45 or £55 a pop on staff discount. And my God, that was a weight off my paycheck. I have a lot of money. A lot of money. But I now have an army of Rhinox Riders, and I'm renowned for having those Rhinox, because they are just... They are literally like my favourite unit in the game, hands down. They just look... They look fantastic. They are literally they're my go-to cavalry unit. So I agree with you, Mr. Unclean One. The aesthetic is definitely changing for Games Workshop, and that's how, if that's the way that's going, that's the way it's going. But there's really not much what you can do. If you want to keep the units you like playing with, keep them, because you can still use them. There's no problem with that. And I'm sure someone, or Games Workshop especially, if you go to one of their events, and as long as you clearly say to the events team or your opponent when you're playing it, you say, this is what I'm using this as, I'm sure they'll be very happy to. I've used that in the past. I've used a Maw Crusher as a Stonehorn, because I think I wanted my Stonehorn character to look a bit more different than a normal Stonehorn. And so... honestly, yeah, the aesthetic is there and it's changing. But if you want to keep doing what you want to do, keep doing it, because it's your hobby in that, and that's what matters. Your hobby, your rules, what you want to do. Oh dear God! So, I think by now no, hang on. The ink will be down. Yeah, the ink's fine. The ink is definitely fine by now. So, get some Ushabti bone, and then go back into your wet palette. And what you want to do is from the... hang on, I think now. You want to go doing lines. So you want to do lines, because we're not going to see the entire... we're not going to see the entire tooth, because there's different ways of doing bones, but this is the most simplest one that I've found, in my opinion anyway. Because I have a lot of other ways of doing bone, but that's on different miniatures. So as you can see, it's just going from one point and going to the top, and always trying to kind of make sure it blends in well, basically. Oh, again, this bloody weather. Was it paint? It dries the paint on the brushes so quickly, and it sucks. But it's okay, because if you can get this done effectively, it will look absolutely brutal. I can promise you that. So there you go. There we absolutely go. And the final highlight for the teeth, let's go straight onto it as soon as it dries, because again, the Screaming Skull is completely dead. So let's get out the old paint shaker. I'm going to put it in the screen so you can see. And literally just put on the top. Let it spin for a bit. And it just happens. But don't leave your finger on it too long, because it can like numb your finger, and it really does suck when it happens. So that's all nice and clean, all nice and mixed together. Yeah, I love having this desk, it's so handy. Literally, it means I can keep things nice and stuff. Hello, DJ Forcex, how you doing, man? Thank you for joining us. I do appreciate the follow. Sorry, the Ray, thank you very much. Then what we're going to do... Yo! Thanks, Barney. I do appreciate it. Thank you. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go on the top. So with the final highlight of the teeth, it literally is just you're doing the top tip of the tooth. So you may be asking yourself that it's very, very close to the skin tone, but once we do a final highlight of white on the tips of the top, it will catch it just slightly differently. But one of the other things I'll be doing, or at least I want to try and do, is just I want to be able to paint different things and not just do orcs and stuff. But one thing I will definitely be doing is it's going to be my birthday is on the 21st of July this year. Like, haha, happy birthday every year. And the new orc book will be coming out in July, hopefully, cross fingers. And that will be, I will be doing a live stream of the new orc book, me actually cracking it open and seeing and what I think of the new book. So this is coming from a guy who literally knows nothing about the new rules, nothing, but I'm just going to look through it and just see what I think looks really cool, and you know, get the genuine excitement of a 30-year-old man who has the brain of a man child. But again, with orcs and stuff, it's like it is my passion. Those orcs are my favorite force, hands down. And if you wish to join me, that will be an extra stream, and I will be wanting to do like joint streams in the future once I get a bit more of a, well, seeing if people want to do like a collaboration stream with me, that'd be cool, and just talk about general crap. Because of this hobby, as you've seen with me before, I'm very much a person who will just chat. I'll go off topic for quite some time, but I always come back to hobby talk and just talk about general things. So as you can see, with the teeth, going back to this glorious hobby, we're gonna turn this off for a second. You can see now, without the natural light, you've got the hair is looking a lot more kind of smoother and a bit more, well, not sausage-like, if that's the best way to put it. The skin's now looking a lot more cleaner, or it's all more smoother. The horns are looking a lot more lighter as well, which I might go over in a bit more time, another video. And the teeth are looking quite nice. The only thing I might do is I might get some black in there in the recesses to do a bit more definition, because right now it looks like he's got lipstick, or he's got like a very thick lips, and that's very true, but I want to try and kind of make it more subtle, so that's fine. And the eyes, my god, like the eyes, I'm gonna have to have a bit of research, but I think maybe one or two more episodes of this and we might be finished. So that's exciting. I have to say, that is very exciting to have my first full kind of tutorial video done, or series if you want to put it like that. So let's start with doing the recesses and stuff. So let's get the black again. We're going to add a bit more water to that, so it's going to be a lot more liquidy. I'm going to try and get this in the into the creases. And this is where I go really quiet because I want to focus. Because the thing is, though, because it's now more liquid than anything else, it's going to be a lot easier to go. It'll go straight to the cracks rather than stay on the miniature on like lips and stuff. It's like kind of like glazing as well, to be fair. And once that's done, we'll be able to effectively give a bit more life into this glorious creature. So it's kind of like you could say I'm kind of glazing his inside. Sure. There you go. Kind of just give it a bit more of a clean up. Make it a bit more subtle there. Oh, and there you go. Again, the best thing about glazing is that if you do mess up, you can just get around to that. So as you can see, it's a bit more defined. Oh, there you go. So you can see, and I can assure you, if you see it on first hand, it looks a bit more, well, not like he's got big fat lips, but once that's done, I will go over that and just in fact, I might do that now with the skin tone here. There we go. Give a bit more of a definition on the lips. Okay, cool. All right. I have to say I'm happy with this. I'm getting there. So there's a bit of black here. So we're gonna go with where is it? Back down there just to this might need to a bit like that, and I'm gonna have to agrax that again, but that's fine. There we go. This is like very emergent, not because it's very crucial thing. So you may notice that I'm doing this while the paint was still wet, but if it's such a small area, you can just agrax it, and it will basically keep it. It dries very quickly, especially in this kind of humid weather, and you got sunlight, you got a sun lamp right literally on top of us, so it will dry very quickly, and it's like there was no mistake at all. So because we need to do one final thing, I'm going to use Flavor and Flesh. So that's the highest level of what kind of bony color that I have, or Games Workshop actually do, and it will basically give us that kind of last bit definition on the teeth. And again, that needs to be buzzed because I don't think I actually picked that up. I think I used this maybe. I don't think I even used this. I don't even know why I picked it up. Half these paints, like I used to have a box of paints, absolute boxes, and then I haven't used these for a long time. But once I get into that painting mood, it's like, where's all the paints at? Where's all the paints? Because I need them all. Oh god. Cool. So we're gonna go into there. There we go. And then we're just going to pick out the last bit of detail on the teeth. So Flavor and Flesh is very bright. It's just a little bit brighter than Screaming Skull, what we used. But what we can do is, oh hello, bit of my hair has gone to the mic. I'm just going to go left and right. Here we go. And I think, to be fair, lads and ladies, I think for tonight, I think we're going to call it there. Because I don't want to go any further. Because if I do any further, it's going to be a bit late. I need to do some stuff before I need to do some more stuff before I go to bed tonight. I think if I start like something more now, we're not going to be able to finish that in time. It may be another hour or so. But yeah, I think in honesty, what we've done tonight has been really good. We went over the skin. We've done the skin's completed. We've done the glazing. We've done the teeth, the nose starting off. The eyes have been blacked out. The hair's been less sausage-like. And yeah, I have to say we are looking like Ludo is becoming a lot more humane and a lot more completed. So I have to say I'm very happy to hear. I'm very happy to say that it's getting there. We are slowly getting there, and it's very much a very enjoyable process. And I think these will only last maybe another couple of sessions, I think. But thank you all so much for joining me in tonight. Thank you all for DJ 46 running in a couple minutes ago. Thank you to Unclean One for the comments. Thank you very much for anyone who's watched the stream, and thank you so much. If we got any comments or suggestions for any future videos, please you can find my channel on YouTube, this will be uploaded, which is DJ Forcex. Sorry, not DJ Forcex. DJ Sound Blaster. Or you can look on my Instagram, which is _joy_of_painting_painting. And if you want to go follow me on those platforms, that'd be fantastic. And hopefully, I know, DJ, I'm so sorry. That was that's me after being last night, going to bed at 5 a.m. And that was a very great stream, I have to say. But again, thank you all so much for joining me. And I'm going to raid another stream tonight. The Double K, who's currently playing, I think, Skyrim. So if you want to stick around and watch that stream for a bit, you're more than welcome to. That'd be lovely. But in any case, I will hopefully see you next Sunday at the same time. And I may have a little surprise during the week for you. So stay watch of my Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. And happy painting, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you very much. Goodbye.